What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Fresh Review. If you're new to the channel, what we do here is every Wednesday we get a WWE video out. And this Wednesday we are doing WrestleMania Night 1 review. And ideally we will get Night 2 out as well today. If we don't do it this week, we'll get it out next week with NXT Stand and Deliver. So NXT Stand and Deliver is guaranteed next week. Night 2 will either be today, super late, or next week as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start talking about Night 1. We kicked off with main event Jey Uso taking on Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Jey won the 2025 Royal Rumble, and he had his choice to choose between Cody or Gunther to fight at Mania. He chose Gunther to run it back. He fought Gunther in a couple previous matches before, wasn't able to dethrone Gunther. He's trying again here, and the build up to this was okayish. The best part, in my opinion, was when Jey had to watch Jimmy get handcuffed to the ropes as Gunther bloodied him up. But let's go ahead and dive into the moves now. Starting with the moves. Jey and Gunther start off with a collar and elbow tie-up. Gunther chops Jey, but Jey responds with an uppercut that drops Gunther and sends Gunther rolling outside the ring. Back inside the ring, Jey eats another chop, but he responds with a step-up enziguri. That sends Gunther outside the ring once again. Back inside the ring, Jey tries to scoop slam Gunther, but Gunther squashes him with his own weight. Gunther tries a scoop slam of his own, and this time he is successful, unlike Jey. Jey scales the top rope, but Gunther delivers a chop that sends Jey outside the ring. Gunther Irish whips Jey into the corner, but Jey returns with a spear. This gets a 2 count. Gunther goes for a powerbomb onto Jey, but Jey counters that into a Samoan drop. Jey climbs the top rope, but Gunther meets him there and connects with a superplex. Gunther follows that up with a dropkick and a powerbomb combo. This gets a 2 count. Gunther goes for another powerbomb, but Jey reverses that into a hurricanrana. Jey follows that up with a spear, climbs to the top rope, and drops the Uso splash onto Gunther near fall. Gunther rolls out of the ring. He grabs the title belt and he proceeds to leave. Jey goes for a suicide dive, but throws the referee out of the way. In the process, Gunther strikes Jey in the head with the title belt, and the referee does not see it. Gunther climbs the top rope and lands a splash, near fall. I thought it ended like this. I was like, tough way for Jey to go out. Gunther locks in a sleeper hold, but Jey crawls his way to the ropes for a break. Jey was in the sleeper hold for probably close to a minute. Keep that in mind. Gunther delivers vicious strikes to Jey in the corner. Jey starts to laugh at Gunther while Gunther is just giving this man a series of chops. This man Jey just laughing, bro. He's like, bro, I eat Snickers, bro. I ain't worried about these pork chops you giving me. Jey and Gunther begin to trade blows in the center of the ring, but Jey gains the advantage with a clothesline. Both men are down. Now we have the actual finish. Gunther goes for a sleeper hold again, but Jey escapes and connects with a German suplex. Gunther gets up and lands a dropkick. Gunther goes for a powerbomb, but Jey escapes and lands a powerbomb of his own. Jey super kicks Gunther, scales the top rope, and lands 3 Uso splashes onto Gunther. Jey locks in a sleeper, and Gunther taps out in 5 seconds. I'm going to say that again. Gunther is a submission specialist, has put multiple people away with his sleeper move. Jey withstood that for close to a minute. Jey Uso is not a submission specialist. I'm not sure Jey Uso ever won a match with a submission. I'm not sure the last time Jey Uso ever applied a submission. And he made Gunther, the defending champion, this monster heel, tap out to his own move within 5 seconds. It might have been less than that. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about going out sad. And the craziest thing is, Jey climbed the top rope after the super kick and did 3 Uso splashes. I almost said frog splashes. They're Uso splashes. My apologies. You could have ended the match right there. Why have Gunther tap out and look soft and weak and lose to his own move? And Jey's not. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Just have him get the pinfall victory. The actual finish is bad. And I thought this was a potential great match until I saw that finish. I probably gave it 4 stars out of 5. If they just had the Uso splash win, it'd been a great moment for Jey. The crowd was lit. Of course, the crowd yeeted throughout his whole entrance. Got Uso chants. We got Let's Go Uso chants. Of course, a loud pop for Jey's victory and yeeting after the match as well. Commentary-wise, I got Jey comes here 0-6 in World Championship matches and 0-3 against Gunther. That is a great line by Cole to give us the record the history of Jey always coming up short, unfortunately. And then Jey Uso is hitting Gunther's greatest hits on Gunther tonight. That's way better. Cause then I guess I have the whole entire point of the match where Jay's hitting power bombs and locking in sleeper holds and doing some other Gunther moves and all that. So the whole fan base that's saying Jay can't wrestle. That man Jay just put on that move thief from WWE 2K25 and stole all of Gunther's moves. So I guess that's the theme of the match. But I still think the finish should have just had Jey Uso win with his own move. Now, like I said, I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. Great match. If they had Jey win with the Uso splash. But having Gunther look that weak by tapping to his own submission in 5 seconds, that's a bad actual finish. So I'm going to dock points for that, of course. But I still thought it was a good enough match to open the show. I got it at 3.5 stars out of 5. This match will be remembered for Jay getting his main event, well, not main event, WrestleMania moment, becoming world champion. That was a solid match by Jay, by the way, especially compared to his last Mania match with his brother Jimmy. And then the crowd favorite finally defeats his boogeyman, right? That's another thing you remember about. It's kind of that underdog type story here. I liked it, memorability wise. Had no problem with the start of the show. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst by any means. Now we go on to our next match, which probably shouldn't have been on the WrestleMania card. It's the New Day versus the War Raiders. War Raiders are the defending tag team champions going against the New Day that just turned heel a few months ago. New Day should have got the tag team titles, but here we are. They had a tag team championship match a couple weeks ago, but ended in disqualification. I forgot exactly how. But now we start with the match with Eric scoop slamming Ivar onto Woods and Kofi at ringside. Ivar squashes Woods and Kofi onto the ring. Eric and Ivar deliver a tag team move to Woods. This gets a near fall. Woods and Kofi land a top rope splash to the back of Eric's neck. This gets a 2 count. Kofi and Woods deliver more tag team offense to the back of Eric's neck. Woods does the Ric Flair strut and goes for the Hardy Boys poetry in motion move. Eric catches Kofi and slams him onto Woods' back. Eric makes the hot tag to Ivar. Ivar does his hot tag offense. Ivar does a springboard cartwheel back elbow to both New Day members. Ivar climbs the top rope, but Woods pulls him down and clothesline him. Kofi connects with a trouble in paradise to Eric. Ivar floors Kofi with a spinning heel kick. Ivar connects with a top rope moonsault to Kofi. Woods breaks up the pin with a no limit elbow at 2. So that would have probably been the end of the match, but Woods hits his finisher to break up the pin. And I thought this was a neat spot. Normally after the finishers hit to break up the pin, all the wrestlers are down. Kofi, actually, veteran instincts, rolls into the cover, right? And it gets a near fall, right? So he almost got the pin off the no limit elbow by Woods, but no. Now we get the actual finish. Eric and Woods trade strikes in the center of the ring. Eric delivers a knee to the back of Woods' head. Then a knee to Woods' jaw. This is a devastating series of moves. And then Eric just screamed at this man. The man was going crazy. Now, the War Raiders go for a War Machine, but Woods distracts the referees. Referee, singular. And this allowed Kofi to prevent the move from connecting. Woods taps Kofi in, and they strike with a daybreak on the Ivar for the 1, 2, 3. For the crowd, I don't have anything here. And truth be told about this crowd, night 1, they were atrocious. Night 2, they got the memo. They must have saw what was happening on Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, whatever social media they're using, and got notified on how bad they were on night 1. On night 2, they were much better. They were good to start the show with Jey Uso. Maybe they yeeted too much. They were dead the rest of this show, even including the main event. Now, granted, I don't think any of these matches were really that great, except for one, and we'll get to that one later. But they didn't really pop too much here. For this match in particular, though, I got nothing for the crowd-wise. Commentary, the War Raiders are dressed up as Clash of Clans characters. The P.E.K.K.A. and Barbarian King, that was Pat doing that reference. And I do play Clash of Clans myself. I'm a huge Clash of Clans fan. So that was very cool when I saw that. Now, the New Day might burn enough bridges that nobody will want them in the Hall of Fame. That was also a great line by Pat. Because the New Day, one of the most decorated tag team champions, but they're heel New Day. They get another title reign. It's like, dang it, nobody really cares for this team, whatever. So, Pat, doing that as well. So I thought Pat did great for this match. Memorability wise, the New Day as Hill finally become tag team champions. I can't wait to see what they do with this Hill New Day tag team champion stuff. But I think they took too long to give them the titles because I think they should have been champions when they were red hot when they first turned heel by turning on Big E. So I thought they should have got the titles within a month from that. I think they waited a little too late. I'm curious to see how long this title reign is. 'Cause I think the Raw division is kind of weak. But there's a draft I think coming up next week, so maybe they change some of the tag team divisions around. We have to wait and see. But overall, that's that for the match. I thought it was slightly above average. I'm giving it 2.60 stars out of 5. Now we're going on to Jade versus Naomi, which is our next match. This match was a mysterious opponent attacked Jade and put her on the shelf for several months. Who was that person? Nobody knew. But Naomi filled in for her as tag team champions. And then Jade returned, and we get revealed at Elimination Chamber that Jade comes in, she attacks Naomi, puts Naomi out of the match by injuring her. So it cost Naomi her chance to go on to WrestleMania to get a one-on-one match for a World Championship. And then that's how the feud kind of goes on from there. Truth be told, I felt like WWE didn't know who they wanted to give this to because as a mysterious opponent, because they like, oh, after 3 months we finally got some footage that shows who attacked you, Jade. And Jade probably already knew who attacked her, so Jade could have tweeted it out. Jade could have went and handled it sooner. Maybe, I don't know what happened, but I mean, hey, nevertheless, we got the match here. Don't think too deep about it, but you know, this is a personal feud type stuff since Jade missed a good part of her career. 3 to 4 months, whatever, with the injury. Kayfabe injury. I don't think she's really injured. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and start with the match. Jade starts the match by overpowering Naomi in the corner. Naomi goes to the top rope, but Jade slam tosses her off the top rope. Jade tosses Naomi into the barricade. Naomi pokes Jade in the eye to gain the advantage. Naomi plants Jade with an X Factor from the apron and onto the ringside floor. Naomi slams Jade's head first onto the steel steps and lands a blockbuster. Naomi spikes Jade with a signature head scissors move. This gets a near fall. So, although Jade started off this battle hot, Naomi has taken over. Jade finally gets some offense here. She lands a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker to Naomi. Both ladies are down. Jade starts her comeback offense. Naomi goes for a crossbody, but Jade catches her. Lands a jackhammer near fall. And this was a great catch by Jade because Naomi's her diving angle was atrocious. Normally you see like a crossbody either sideways, horizontal or whatever. Naomi like tried to spear her midair, so like Jade had to catch her by the neck and stuff, and then the way she transitioned smoothly into the jackhammer, great work here by Jade. Definitely showcased the power here. Now Naomi goes for another crossbody from the top rope, and Jade catches her again to deliver a fallaway slam. I think that was the original plan, but Jay improvised, so then they just rerun the spot again with how it's supposed to be done. But now we got the actual finish here. Jade goes for a Jada from the top rope, but Naomi counters that into a top rope bulldog. Naomi hits the top rope split leg moonsault. This gets a near fall. Jade goes for Jaded, but Naomi reverses that into a roll up. This gets a near fall. Naomi transitions into a Ring of Saturn's submission. Jade reverses that into a power bomb and follows that up with Jaded for the victory. Crowd has some loud pops during some of Jade's slams and stuff. But again, not too crazy crowd-wise. No chants that are too noticeable. I did like Jade's entrance. I forgot to say that about the entrance for Jade. I did like Jade's entrance a lot with the weatherman forecast. A storm is coming. I thought it was kind of cheesy, but I liked it a lot. I'm like, I like it. I can get with that. Commentary-wise. Some people attack their own teammate like Tanya Harding. I think that's what Pat said. I know Tanya Harding was the ice skater or figure skater that got attacked, or maybe she did the attack. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Pat made the reference. I didn't get the quote exactly. I didn't see the movie or know too much of the story, but I know a little bit of it. Now, Jay played possum to catch Naomi again. That was Wade Barrett when Naomi took a little bit too long to get up to the turnbuckle and do the jump off. That led to the fallaway slam. The second time they did it, Jade was just waiting there. I'm like, oh my goodness. I hate when they take forever to get up there and then the other one's just waiting. But Wade Barrett did a great job of mentioning that Jade was playing possum. She could have easily went and attacked Naomi or something. She was just waiting for Naomi to jump so she could catch her and do a grapple move. I'm like, all right, great job by Wade Barrett there. Now, memorability, Jade wins her WrestleMania one-on-one debut. I'm not sure if it's her first match on Mania or her second one. She might have had a match last year at Mania, if I'm not mistaken, for the tag team titles. I think her and Bianca. So I think this is her first solo one. But kudos to Jade. Gets her WrestleMania moment. I think big things are in the future for her. I thought this was a really good match. I'm giving it 3.75 stars out of 5. Now we're going on to our next match. It is Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the United States Championship match. Fatu won a number one contenders match. I believe he beat Braun Strowman in the last man standing match to get this qualification for the title. And LA Knight just got his title back just over a month ago by beating Shinsuke Nakamura. He really should have never lost it to Shinsuke. That's a whole different story. It's never too late to do the right thing. They knew Shinsuke did not belong on Mania. He got no crowd reaction. Put LA Knight on Mania. LA Knight gets a Mania moment type stuff. And one of the hottest dudes there. You could tell the crowd every time LA Knight comes out, bro. LA Knight, yeah. Crowd made some noise for LA Knight. And then we got Let Go Fatu and Let's Go LA Knight chants. Or just LA Knight chants, my bad. But, hey, crowd, they woke up for this match. And I don't blame them. Because this match started off with Knight landing a net breaker to Fatu. Knight goes for the BFT, but Fatu lands on his hands to avoid the impact. Great reversal here by Fatu. Fatu lands a pop-up Samoan drop to Knight. Knight goes for a back suplex, but Fatu reverses that into a crossbody. This gets a 2 count. Knight delivers a series of drop kicks to Fatu. Knight goes for a top rope dive, but Fatu catches him and delivers a power slam. This gets a 2 count. Fatu goes for a pop-up Samoan drop again, but Knight reverses that into a crucifix driver. Both men are down. Knight stomps a mud hole into Fatu in the corner. Knight tosses Fatu into the ring post, then turns Fatu inside out with a clothesline. Knight delivers the Megastar elbow to a standing Fatu. This gets a near fall. I've never seen this variation before. Because normally the Megastar elbow is, a top rope elbow drop, but the person's laying down. But Fatu, he always gets up so fast and stuff, where LA Knight did it on a standing Fatu. So that's very clever. Nice spot there. Now, Fatu goes for the top rope moonsault, but Knight meets him there to deliver a top rope avalanche German suplex. Now we have the actual finish. Knight goes for the BFT, but Fatu escapes and strikes with a super kick. Fatu lands 3 consecutive hip attacks, followed by a swanton bomb. This gets a near fall. Fatu goes for the top rope moonsault, but Knight catches him with a BFT in midair. Fatu reaches the rope at 2. And wow, this move was done perfectly. When it first happened, I was like, was that intentional? Like, what was that? I kind of confused, but you gotta look at the replay and stuff. And then Michael Cole called it right away. Oh, he turned it into a BFT. Because at first I'm like, I don't know what happened there. But I was like, oh, the BFT. It makes sense. Of course, it doesn't look as pretty as the RKO. Because the RKO midair reversals and all that are just flawless. Because the RKO is a great looking finisher. The BFT, not really that great of a looking finisher. So it didn't look too great originally. But it was definitely done perfectly. Especially on the replay. And, like I said, Fatu reached the ropes at 2 to force the break, so the match continues. Knight climbs the top rope, but Fatu meets him there to deliver a top rope Samoan drop. Fatu connects with 2 top rope moonsaults for the 1, 2, 3. And like I said before, the crowd did get into this with the LA Knight during the entrances, and the Let's Go Fatu and LA Knight chants during the match, and a loud pop during the mid-air BFT. So crowd did wake up for this match. Commentary-wise, Wade Barrett's loins are tingling. He let us know that without a doubt. And he's never been pinned or submitted in WWE. That was Michael Cole saying that for the Jacob Fatu. So Jacob Fatu has a couple L's, but he's never been pinned or submitted. So was LA Knight going to be the first person to do it? He was not. Fatu defeats opponents before they even get in the ring with him because of the fear factor. That was Wade Barrett. That's a great line. I think WWE has been doing a great job building up this fear factor with Jacob Fatu. Because Jacob Fatu, this man be looking crazy, dog. His eyes and all that. If I was an announcer, I'd be like, yo, he came over here to ringside and I accidentally make eye contact with him. I might just leave the arena. Like, this man might, if you look him in the eyes, he might just kill you. This man looks crazy. And Pat also said a great line. LA Knight's just eating Fatu for dinner because Fatu gave this man a series of running hip attacks over and over. That man gave him the Rikishi specials, gluteus maximus to the noggin, to the upper lip, to the mouth, to all of it. Both cheeks right there. But memorability wise, Jacob Fatu, he gets his mania moment. He's turned into a star. His first solo championship run. LA Knight hit a nice mid-air BFT. So, overall, I thought this was the best match at this point. Thought it was a truly great match. I'll give it a 4.40 stars out of 5. Now, we're going on to our next match, which was El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. Now, this match is tough build-wise because it was originally supposed to be El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio got injured on Friday Night SmackDown, so they replaced Rey Mysterio with Rey Fenix, a new addition they just had. This is also Penta's brother, anybody doesn't know. Penta wrestled on night 2 of WrestleMania. So, go back build-wise. Chad Gable goes on this hiatus to learn how to fight luchadors because luchadors are beating him left and right, whatever. He returns as El Grande Americano, or maybe it's not Chad Gable, right? Maybe they're different people. They're doing this whole Ezekiel and Elias thing. I don't think it's as funny as the Ezekiel and Elias thing, which is a concept they did a few years back where Ezekiel had a shaved beard and Elias had a beard, and they're the same person, whatever, but one had a shaved beard and one had a beard, so I guess he just put a fake beard on, whatever, whenever he's impersonating the other one. But you already kind of seen the gimmick type stuff before. A lot of people think this is a little racist. I have no problem with this. I ain't gonna lie to you. I tell y'all straight up. I come from the MW2 Call of Duty era, the OG MW2. I done heard some of the most outlandish things ever. This stuff right here is a walk in the park. I kid you not. I could care less about this stuff. I think some people got to laugh at themselves more. Like, I'm a black guy. I remember when my boy Kofi Kingston was just faking. You feel me? A fake Jamaican. So, I have no problem with anything WWE is doing here. I've been a WWE fan for 20 plus years. I have seen WWE do far worse things than this, in my opinion. But, nevertheless, that's the match. So Rey Fenix fills in for an injured Rey Mysterio. And there's a little bit of a story here that was established the night before on the Battle Royal, where Rey Fenix, I believe, eliminated Chad Gable. But then El Grande Americano, who wasn't even in the match, interfered in the Battle Royal match and eliminated Rey Fenix, or at least assisted in Rey Fenix's elimination. I can't remember exactly, but that's kind of how we got here. I like to say Rey Mysterio is legitimately hurt. I hope he makes a full, speedy and healthy recovery. But if he wasn't hurt and they wrote off a legend just to give this new guy Rey Fenix, who I think has tremendous potential and stuff, to get him a WrestleMania moment, I think that's so dirty to not only Rey Mysterio but all the fans. Because I know there's a lot of fans. You had 60,000 there in Vegas, whatever. At least they said they got 60,000. But let's say they at least got 55, right? Probably, or 50. Some of those fans definitely paid to see Rey Mysterio, right? And that's like one of the big reasons they wanted to go. And then to not see Rey Mysterio because he's not hurt, they just wrote him off. That's kind of messed up. There's a little bit of false advertising and all that. But nevertheless, let's kind of dive into the match. And this match, for some reason, started off with Van Kingo. I'm not sure if this is a fan, a celebrity, or a AAA wrestler. WWE just signed AAA. And I saw a meme of Steph Curry, who's a Warriors player. He's looking at all these rookies and experienced players on the NBA court, and he's just in awe of the poverty he's watching his team go through. And it's like Triple H watching AAA wrestling. So supposedly AAA wrestling is like the worst Mexican lucha libre wrestling out there. But WWE just acquired that, and they had this guy, who I believe is a luchador, kick El Grande before the match even starts. And Wade Barrett made a great thing, like, they should have this man tossed out. Where is security when you need it, or something like that. And I agree. I don't know why they just let this man get kicked in the head. The referee saw it. I almost called this man Chad Gable. My apologies. El Grande Americano rolls back into the ring, and the referee just starts the bell right away. Don't even make sure this man's okay. And then Fenix, he begins his offense right away. He lands a top rope hurricanrana on El Grande, who kicks out at 2. I was like, thank the heavens they did not just have this man lose in 3 seconds. El Grande lands a German suplex on the Fenix. Fenix jumps off the top rope to deliver an arm drag to El Grande. El Grande Irish whips Fenix into the ropes, but Fenix does the tranquilo between the ropes and returns with a move. I don't remember what the move was exactly, but it's a great reversal and counter. El Grande launches Fenix into the corner with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. El Grande lands a 450 splash on the Fenix near fall. I'm not sure if this is a 450, a 540, a 630. This man was just rotating, spinning like a ballerina. How do you not get dizzy, El Grande? But El Grande tries to unmask Fenix, but Fenix fights back and lands a driver. This gets a near fall. El Grande sends Fenix out of the ring and inserts the metal plate into his mask. El Grande goes, Fenix goes for this kick where he runs across the tightrope and delivers a soccer-like kick to El Grande. He kicks El Grande in the head, but he injures his foot in the process because he kicked the metal mask that El Grande had recently just put in. Now we got the actual finish. El Grande applies the ankle lock, but Fenix escapes. Fenix goes for a springboard move, but El Grande catches him with a headbutt, using that mask yet again with the plate inside of it. El Grande climbs the top rope to deliver a diving headbutt for the 1-2-3. Crowd-wise, not too much crowd-wise I have here noted. I would like to say, though, I forgot to say this, the entrance for El Grande Americano, where they got the mariachi band, and then they put the filter on it like it's a Spanish-type movie or something. Oh, my goodness, that's hilarious. I'm over here dying. But commentary-wise, I thought Wade Barrett brought up a great point. We don't know if it's metal. It hasn't been molecularly analyzed yet. And that was talking about the thing that El Grande Americano puts into his mask. And I'm like, dang, wait, I didn't even think of that. It could technically be a silver colored piece of paper, right? He just puts in there. It could be a pad, right, to make sure he doesn't get CTE. It could be a lot of things. Who knows? Why would it be metal? Why would you be dived? That could hurt you just as much as your opponent. Why would you dive with metal taped to your head? Like, come on now, let's be real. And then you can't spell luchador without Chad. That was Michael Cole, by the way. Michael Cole doesn't believe that El Grande Americano and Chad Gable are different people. I tend to lean on the side of Michael Cole for this one. I prefer Wade Barrett most of the time, but I do have to lean Michael Cole on this one. And then nobody's buying their lucha mask anymore because they all want an Americano one. That was Wade Barrett. Great line for him. And then he goes for a 4-head to a 5-head real quick. That was Pat McAfee after he put the metal plate or the extra padding in his mask. And then he hurt his foot by kicking Chad's metal plated mask. That was Pat McAfee making the connection because Cole thought Rey Fenix landed wrong and just twisted his ankle or something. But Pat made the connection that the soccer kick hurt his foot because of the metal plating. And that's a great catch there by Pat McAfee. I almost didn't even recognize it either, understand it because, when I'm watching these matches, bear with me now, I do have to type the notes and all that stuff. So, I'll be looking up and down. I didn't even piece it together. If I focus on the match, I definitely would have caught it. But great catch there by Pat. Not only did he help out Cole there, he also helped me out. Now we got the memorability. El Grande Americano is here to stay. I thought this was going to be a gimmick where they just got rid of it at Mania. They're going to unmask him here or something. No, he's here to stay. So, Rey Fenix loses his Mania debut. But he really wasn't supposed to have this Mania debut. It's like last minute. So, he had a WrestleMania match. That's huge. You could tell he's emotional when he was making his entrance. Mama, I made it type stuff. So, kudos to him. He did great in this match. Overall, though, I can't give this that good of a score because this is like a SmackDown match. Had no business being on Mania. No build, really. It's unfortunate circumstances. But overall, no stakes. Nothing here. Move-wise, I think would be too memorable. Rey Fenix moveset is definitely spectacular, though. So, I think we give Rey Fenix some more meaningful feuds. These matches could be better, but I'm just giving this a well above average score of 3.40 stars out of 5. With these wrestlers having to put together something last minute, definitely wasn't a bad match by any means, but well above average, like I said. Now we're going on to our next match, and I can't wait to talk about this match. It is Tiffany Stratton, the defending champion, defending women's champion, taking on Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair got this match by winning the Royal Rumble, and she challenged Tiffany for the title. Now, the build to this had some promos, and we're going to talk about the promos. But first, let's talk about how Charlotte won the Royal Rumble, got booed there, came out the Friday Night SmackDown, And she wants to talk about, or maybe even the Monday Night Raw. She wants to talk about her Royal Rumble win, and the crowd's not trying to hear it. Right? They're booing her there, so they basically had to do an audible. At this point, Tiffany's a heel, but she's kind of getting cheered. Ideally, I think they wanted Tiffany probably to lean more into a heel character and have Charlotte be the babyface, but they see the crowd reaction and the crowd reception of Charlotte, so they had to flip it. They had to have Charlotte go heel, get booed, and then had Tiffany go full babyface. That's why I started thinking, why did they have Tiffany get a match? No tag team titles on the line and Elimination Chamber. You could have gave that match to a whole other lot of people, right, for a championship, but they paired her with the hometown hero, Trish Stratus, to get, some fanfare, get some babyface love and all that. So her and Trish, no titles on the line, had a tag team match at Elimination Chamber card where they only had 5 matches, right? So there's a lot of people that don't make the card. Why do you get Tiffany a tag team match instead of a solo one? That's why they wanted to turn Tiffany face. I don't think that was originally the plan by WWE, but they had to pivot, as The Rock would say, and that's what they went with. Now we get these promos, where the first promo, these girls also start brawling a lot throughout this feud, but we're going to start with the first promo. The first promo, Charlotte, Tiffany. Charlotte just bodies Tiffany. I don't even know what Tiffany was thinking going in here. They run it back a week or two later. Tiffany bodies Charlotte, mainly because the crowd didn't let Charlotte get a word in. But it's actually kind of crazy because Charlotte didn't let Tiffany get a word in the promo before, where Charlotte started the promo first, interrupted Tiffany a lot, and, I had better lines than. Then Tiffany says the mic drop moment. I forgot what it. Oh, talking about Charlotte's divorces. Charlotte clapped back and saying your husband or fiance or boyfriend, whatever it is in my DMs. And like the crowd, the internet's going wild and stuff. And I saw this one meme like Kaiser's the first guy ever to get accused of cheating, and everybody believes he was faithful because like Kaiser ain't leaving Tiffany for Charlotte most likely, right? But you never know. You had a Lambo. Maybe you want to just turn that thing in for a Mazda. You feel me? Or a Toyota, right? I mean, maybe you're just crazy. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and start with the match now. That's the build leading up to this. This is for the WWE Women's Championship. And it starts with Tiffany and Charlotte brawling right away in the ring. The action spills out the ringside where Tiffany rams Charlotte headfirst into the ring post. Inside the ring, Charlotte repeatedly chops Tiffany in the corner. Back outside the ring, Charlotte gives Tiffany a back suplex onto the barricade. Charlotte Irish whips Tiffany into the barricade and tosses her back into the ring. Charlotte wraps Tiffany inside her legs and bashes her head first into the canvas 5 times. Now, this is Stephanie Vaquer's move. And the difference between Stephanie Vaquer and Charlotte Flair, I don't want to be mean. But let's say Stephanie Vaquer has better assets at her disposal. So when she does the move, people on commentary go crazy, right? So they did this move, and I think Michael Cole called it out. It says the Stephanie Vaquer move didn't have any reaction. Stephanie Vaquer, if you haven't seen Monday Night Raw, that just happened, I definitely recommend it. I think Monday Night Raw after Mania was better than Night 1 of Mania. And even better than Night 2, perhaps. There could be a debate about that, but we'll get to that later. I recommend it. Stephanie Vaquer makes a surprise debut. I hope I didn't spoil that for you, but she fights somebody there, and she does her move, and she doesn't do it 5 times. She does it 10 times, and the crowd is going crazy. Pat McAfee's jaw dropped. Like it's a whole different level when Vaquer does it compared to Charlotte. The copyright infringement. How you gonna mess up plagiarism? I ain't gonna lie to you. How are you gonna mess up copying and pasting? I got a degree, and all I did was copy and paste. But nevertheless. Let's go ahead and continue with the match here. Charlotte catches and reverses Tiffany dropkick into a Boston Crab submission. Tiffany escapes and avoids Charlotte's big boot attempt. Tiffany lands 2 springboard cartwheel elbows to Charlotte in the corner. Tiffany plants Charlotte with a spine buster. This gets a 2 count. Tiffany lands a rolling senton and goes for the prettiest moonsault, but Charlotte rolls out of the way. Tiffany lands on her feet. Charlotte connects with a basement dropkick. This gets a 2 count. Tiffany goes for a sunset flip powerbomb, but missed it perhaps. I'm not sure if this was intentional or accidental. Kind of looked like a botched. Nevertheless, Charlotte capitalized, drops her with a big boot. Charlotte chops Tiffany and begins to taunt her. I believe this is the part where she said, "Get up, B." She said the B word, called Tiffany the B word. So Tiffany and Charlotte begin to trade strikes. Charlotte connects with a big boot and goes for a natural selection. Tiffany counters that and goes for the cartwheel Alabama slam. Charlotte counters that into a sit-out powerbomb near fall. Charlotte goes to the top rope, but Tiffany meets her there. There's an awkward spot that I don't know what they were trying to do in the corner. I literally have no idea. But Tiffany somehow lands a spine buster out of it. This gets a 2 count. Charlotte climbs the top rope and goes for a crossbody, but Tiffany rolls through. This gets a near fall. Charlotte delivers a series of knees and tosses Tiffany outside the ring. Charlotte goes for the moonsault, but Tiffany throws her off of the top rope and begins to target Charlotte's injured knee. Charlotte fights back and begins to target Tiffany's knee by slamming it into the ring post. Charlotte locks in the figure 4, but Tiffany fights out of that by targeting Charlotte's injured knee. Tiffany connects with a rolling senton and goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Charlotte gets the knees up. Charlotte covers. Tiffany kicks out at 2.9. Charlotte scales the top rope, but Tiffany meets her there. Charlotte drops Tiffany face first, then plants her with a natural selection from the top rope near fall. Now, Charlotte smacks Tiffany and we go into her actual finish. Tiffany slams Charlotte into the corner, Alabama style. You know how she does the Alabama slam. Tiffany delivers a rolling senton. Tiffany connects with the prettiest moonsault ever for the 1, 2, 3. Crowd-wise, I had Charlotte getting booed. Decent reaction when Tiffany won, but nothing too crazy crowd-wise, and I don't blame her. I thought this match was really bad. I thought they had bad chemistry, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some real-life disdain between these two. And it's kind of unfortunate because Tiffany, I remember seeing one of her interviews saying her dream match for Mania would have been Charlotte Flair. Well, was Charlotte Flair. This was a few years back. She got her dream match to come true, and it probably was a nightmare because after the match, Tiffany's holding up the title belt, and you can see she has a nasty welt on her forehead, and I thought her I thought her teeth were chipped, but somebody pointed this out. It could have just been dried up blood on her tooth because it looked like she kind of had a bloody mouth. If it's dried up blood on the tooth, like it's kind of gonna look black or reddish or whatever, so you might think it's an empty spot, but it kind of just been blood there. Cause in the post match interview she did, her teeth looked great, right? So maybe they did some quick cover, whatever, to cover up the teeth, or maybe it's just dried up blood. You could just rinse that out and then good to go. So I don't know why the chemistry was off. I hope it didn't lead to Charlotte intentionally hurting Tiffany or anything like that. But I think this match, for my standards, I thought they could put their differences aside and had a great match here. I was really disappointed in this match. The match we remembered for Tiffany beating Charlotte. I think that's a huge moment for her career. Huge milestone to have. But man, I thought this match was about as average as it could get. Might be the worst match of the night. That or the tag team match for the men. Those were definitely the worst two matches in my opinion. I'm giving that average score of 2.5 out of 5. Now we're going on to our next match, and that is the main event. And oh my goodness, I cannot wait to talk about this match. This is the match, in my opinion, that saved WrestleMania Night 1. Because before, wherever you had this Mania is, after this match, it went up a full tier. So I had it at like C tier, right? After this match, Night 1, B tier. It went up to B tier. So kudos to this main event. Definitely lived up to the expectations and then some. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. The build. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Multiple year-long build. So CM Punk got some bodyguards. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. They are called the Shield. Well, they have a falling out, whatever. And, they have fights and all that. Nice feud. Now, CM Punk leaves the company. He goes, does his own things. He comes back several years later. But while he was gone, he was bad-mouthing the company. Roman and Seth, they stay in the company. And they continue to build and elevate the company. Well, Seth turns his back on Roman. He betrays the Shield, that group that was there to defend CM Punk and then found their own role. They're the Hounds of Justice. They're showing up, causing mayhem, chaos, everything, every week. Seth Rollins betrays his brotherhood. Hits Roman Reigns in the back with a steel chair. Now, Roman and Seth have never really seen eye to eye ever since. They always been rivals, except for like once or twice where they have like a Shield reunion, but those are always short lived, and then they go back to being rivals. So that's why they don't like each other. But we go back to this year, right? Roman Reigns needs a fifth person to be his partner for War Games. They try to recruit Seth Rollins. They got a little bit of history there, but Seth's like, I'm never working with that man Roman Reigns. Scratch me off the list. CM Punk fills in. And Seth Rollins hates that. He said no. CM Punk said yeah. He's like, why would you work with Roman? You weren't here when he was being a dictator, a tyrant, and all that. He already didn't like CM Punk before. He even hates him more now. CM Punk does it not just for Roman. He does it for Paul Heyman, though. He said, Paul Heyman, you're going to owe me a favor if I go to War Games with you. If I go to war, risk my career, you're going to have to owe me this favor. They go to War Games. They beat the OG bloodline beats the new bloodline. So CM Punk helps, Roman wins, fire, right? Well, fast forward to Royal Rumble. Every man for himself. CM Punk eliminates Seth and Roman at the same time. And then Seth curb stomps Roman, puts Roman on the shelf for a few weeks. And then Punk and Rollins are just fighting on ringside. So they're still fighting, whatever. It's chaos going on at Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber comes along. Every man for himself again. But Seth and Punk, they definitely don't like each other. Punk eliminates Seth Rollins. Seth doesn't like it. Instead of leaving the ring, he curb stomps CM Punk, and that cost CM Punk his WrestleMania main event championship opportunity match. So they have a steel cage match the following week. What happens in that steel cage match? Roman Reigns makes his return, and he takes out Seth Rollins because he doesn't like Seth Rollins. And, well, Seth Rollins even curb stomped him, put him on the shelf for a few weeks. And then he also takes out CM Punk because CM Punk eliminated him at the Rumble. They've been brawling basically on site ever since. Had some great promos and stuff between. But now, what's this favor? The favor is revealed that CM Punk says at WrestleMania, at the main event, well, I told you years ago, I want you to accompany me down to the ring and be in my corner. So CM Punk takes Roman Reigns' wise men. Strategic move, methodical move, manipulated move. Great mind game here by CM Punk. Boost your odds of winning. You got your wise man. You know, you're feeling more confident in your odds of winning. But you're playing mental warfare with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hates that. He feels like he's betrayed by Paul Heyman. So I mean, all this feud and stuff is going on. They have this brawl. Seth Rollins is the last man standing in the brawl, and he could curb stomp Paul Heyman. He says, I gave you mercy. Keep that in mind. Now you owe me a favor. So now let's go ahead and dive into this match. There is nothing on the line title-wise, but Seth Rollins did a great job with this promo saying the future of the industry, the face of the generation is what we are fighting for. Great job here. So they build some stakes there, although there's no title or number one contendership. To my knowledge, Seth Rollins made it seem like they're fine for something important, right? Something maybe even bigger than the title. But let's go ahead and dive into the match. So Punk exits the ring, and he asks Paul Heyman, the wise man, for some wisdom. So this is a mind game to Roman. Roman sees this. Seth tries to work with Roman to fight Punk. He's like, hey, let's just go jump CM Punk right now, and then me and you could do whatever after. But Roman just drops Seth with an uppercut. He's not even trying to talk or listen to Seth Rollins. Punk re-enters the ring. He starts attacking Roman and Seth. Roman clotheslines Punk out of the ring and connects with a drive-by to Seth. Punk rams Roman into the ring post. Seth connects with a suicide dive to Roman, then throws Roman into the steel steps. Punk and Seth start brawling at ringside. Punk clotheslines Seth into the audience, so now they're fighting in the crowd. Punk grabs the steel chair and assaults Seth with it. Seth grabs the chair and hits Punk with it. Seth bashes Punk in the head with a trash can. Punk suplexes Seth on the trash can. Punk launches a trash can into Seth's head. Roman flies over the barricade to take out both Punk and Seth. Roman bashes Seth head first onto the steel steps, then hits him with a prime bottle. Punk goes for the running knee strike, but Roman catches him with a Samoan drop. Seth goes for the flying knee strike, but Roman catches him with an uppercut mid-air. Roman goes for a Superman punch, but Punk counters that into a net breaker. Punk goes for a GTS to Seth, but Seth escapes. Punk delivers a running knee strike to Roman and Seth in the corners. Punk simultaneously plants Roman and Seth with a DDT and inverted DDT at the same time. Punk climbs the top rope to deliver an elbow drop to Seth. Punk scoot slams Roman and goes for an elbow drop to him, but Seth meets him there. Roman and Punk inadvertently work together to give Seth a doomsday device. Roman hits Punk with a Superman punch. This gets a 2 count. Roman goes for a spear. Punk catches him with a kick and goes for a GTS. Roman escapes and they trade punches. Punk wins the exchange and locks in the Anaconda Vice. Seth leaps off the top rope with a frog splash onto both Roman and Punk, near fall. Seth buckle bombs Punk into the corner. Seth buckle bombs Roman into the corner. Seth goes for a pedigree onto Punk, but Punk reverses this into a GTS attempt. Roman spears Punk. Seth tries to pedigree Roman, but Roman reverses that into a back body drop. Seth, with his cat-like reflexes, lands on his feet, and Roman goes for a spear, but Seth catches him midair for a pedigree. Phenomenal reversal, and this is just the beginning of the match. It's like halfway point. I mean, they just started cooking. They were already cooking, and they just kept going up. Turned the degree all the way up to 500. They might have burnt the food. They were cooking so much. But Seth follows that up, that pedigree. He follows that up with a curb stomp to Roman. He pushes Punk out of the ring, and Roman kicks out at 2, near fall. Seth goes for a Phoenix splash, but Roman evades. Punk scoops up Seth for a GTS attempt. This time, Punk sees Roman and sidesteps, so Seth eats the spear instead. Punk gives Roman the GTS. 1, 2, kick out at 2.99. Punk goes for another GTS to Roman, but re-enters and plants Punk with a pedigree, near fall. Seth tries to convince Roman to work together to destroy Punk. Roman is conflicted. Roman orders Seth to pick him up, and they're going to do the Shield Powerbomb. So Seth gets Punk into the Shield Powerbomb position, but Roman says, "Psych, I lied." Hit that man with an uppercut. Then he powerbombs Punk through the announce table, picks up Seth Rollins, powerbombs him through the announce table, and both of these tables finally broke. They did a great job not having these tables break. They were built as they were indestructible over the past few months. You would thought they were made out of vibranium, but here you see them both break. Loud pops here by the crowd. Now Roman rolls Seth back into the ring and connects with a super spear, near fall. I thought this was the end of the match. I was shocked. Pleasantly happy, though. This match kept going. They were still cooking. Roman rolls Punk into the ring, and he locks in the guillotine submission. Punk rolls through and forces Roman to kick out. Punk transitions that into an Anaconda Vice. Seth re-enters, and he puts Punk into the sharpshooter submission. Roman re-enters and puts Seth into the guillotine. Seth counters that into a bridging snap suplex. Roman kicks out at 2, but he maintains the guillotine hold. Punk curb stomps Roman, then connects with a GTS to Seth. This gets a near fall. Punk lifts Seth back up, and he connects with another GTS. That sends Seth flying into the ropes. Roman delivers a spear to Punk, and while rebounding off the ropes, Seth hits Roman with a curb stomp. Everybody is down. Now we got the actual finish. Paul Heyman gets a steel chair and makes eye contact with his best friend CM Punk and his tribal chief Roman Reigns. Paul slides the chair to CM Punk. Punk is about to strike Roman with the chair, but Paul hits him with a low blow. Paul hands the chair over to Roman and says he acknowledges Roman Reigns. Roman takes the chair and he assaults Punk with it. Roman sees Seth in the same spot where Seth betrayed him all those years ago when they were members in the Shield. Roman goes for the chair shot to Seth, but Paul low blows Roman too. Paul hands Seth the chair. Seth strikes Roman in the back with it. Seth follows that up with a curb stomp for the victory. Seth and Paul Heyman leave together. Oh my goodness. Match of the weekend. Crowd weren't that good this night. And I actually gave this match a 4.75 initially. But I went back and I rewatched the match. And the reason I gave it 4.75, I said the crowd just wasn't good. I rewatched it. The crowd was good. But they didn't do "This is awesome" chants or "Holy-ish" chants. And there was a lot of stuff going on here. So the crowd on day 2, way better. But nevertheless, I'm not going to knock points for the crowd because they at least did make noise. When I first heard this, I was like, no, this is awesome chance. No holy ish. The crowd is atrocious for this match. They should have been louder, but they are still good enough for a 10 out of 10. Uh, they did single on during Seth's entrance in his victory. They did Roman Reigns. They did those chants that were originated over in Europe, and then loud pops during the great spots, the false finishes. They did a lot of the counting on the 1, 2, all kick out, whatever, stuff like that. A lot of times I thought this match was over. Phenomenal match. Commentary wise, for the first time in many, many years, Roman Reigns heads into battle alone. That is Michael Cole. Roman Reigns, no Paul Heyman by his side, no Wiseman, no Usos, no new bloodline members, nobody. It's just Roman out there. It was crazy to see. In living color, CM Punk is the main event of WrestleMania. That was Cole as well when Living Color is performing his theme song. I also want to say I love CM Punk's hype package video. Thought that was fire before the match. Especially getting his old theme song playing over it. This Fire Burns. Phenomenal work. This is Wade Barrett's quote right here. Winning the main event of Mania is the goal. If Punk doesn't do that, he will look back at this night with regret. And then Pat McAfee, when the tables broke. I didn't know this table could break. I had a feeling they were saving these spots for Mania. So awesome they did it like that. Great job by WWE. And then another line by Pat. Is the best in the world going to tap out to the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be sharpshooter? That was when Seth Rollins applied the sharpshooter to CM Punk. Now, that's a great callback because they also had CM Punk do the Hall of Fame induction to that match, the Bret Hart match. And they had a callback. I believe CM Punk flipped Seth Rollins off. I think the screen went black so you didn't see it or anything. But that's a callback to Stone Cold and Bret Hart, the match that just got inducted into the Hall of Fame the night before this match. Now, here's another line by Cole. A decade ago, that man sold his soul to the authority to get ahead in this business. Now, a decade later, he sells his soul to Paul Heyman to get ahead in this business. And then Wade at the end, if you're not shafting your opponents, they are shafting you. They're talking about Seth Rollins screwing over Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman both screwing over their opponents, USA. And then memorability, you got the Paul Heyman betrayal of Punk and Roman, and then him aligning with Seth Rollins. I saw a theory about that on Reddit or something like that. Somebody, fan booking and stuff. I don't really pay too much mind. Oh, this cooked. This was definitely gas in my opinion. Phenomenal match. Like I said, 5 out of 5 stars. I thought about not giving 5 out of 5s because the fans. I almost put the John Cena, blamed the fans, but nah. This match definitely deserved it. Best match of the week, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought the best match of the week was in the comment section down below. But that will pretty much conclude this video. So, if you're interested to see my WrestleMania Night 2 review, be sure to subscribe for that. If you're interested to see my NXT Stand and Deliver video, subscribe for that as well. If you made it this far in the video, I definitely do appreciate you. I think we all agree this was the best match of the night. If you had something different, though, let me know in the comment section down below. But I want to know what you guys thought the worst match of the night was. Like I said, I think it's a toss-up between Tiffany and Charlotte, and then War Raiders and New Day. Didn't really care for any of those matches. Didn't leave any lasting impressions. But, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys on the next one.